So we are starting a new chapter today, chapter 4, that is Animal Kingdom. You all know what is meant by animals. Even if a small child is asked what is animal, he will also tell what is an animal. But their animal and our animals are different. A small child, or if even a 10th class boy, or even if a ordinary man, if you go and ask what are animals, for according to them, the animals are those organisms which are walking on four legs. If you ask them butterfly is an animal, they will surely at once deny, no, butterfly is not an animal, butterfly is butterfly. Fish is an animal, no, fish is not animal, fish is fish. Okay, so according to them, the animal, fish is not animal, human beings are not animal, butterfly is not animal. But for according to us, that is in the science, what are animals? Animals are any multicellular organisms which are heterotrophic in nature, which lacks chloroplast in them, which lacks cell wall in them. Okay, first thing, that is they are multicellular. It is necessary that all the animals should be multicellular. Unicellular are included in prokaryotes. So we are including here only multicellular. Second thing which is most important about defining animals is that they all are heterotrophic. That means they cannot make food on their own, but they depend on some other organism for their food purpose. And since they cannot make food, why they can't make food? Because lack of chlorophyll. Okay? Lack of chloroplast. They do not have chloroplast, so they cannot carry out photosynthesis, and lack of cell wall. Okay? In their cell. Besides this, the animals are having some additional characteristics, that is most of the animals are mobile, they can move from one place to another. Okay, most of the animals are mobile because they can move from one place to another. That is another very important property of the living beings. The animals are having some sort of sensory organs present in them, so that is again a very important feature. So they will have various type of feelings by which we can find out that what is going in the surrounding, what are good and what are not good. If the things are not good, they can move to the other places where the conditions are better, or they can locate their food, or they can save themselves from their predators and all. So that is how they are having sensory organs. Okay, better, but not in all. We are just giving a generalized view, and in generalized view we include most of the organisms, whatever characteristics are present, that we have to speak about, that we have to talk about. We are not talking about each and every organism have all these things. Okay, so that is very important thing to note, children. You don't simply say, sir, oh, the sponges so cannot move, they are fixed at one place. There are number of other organs which may be fixed, or the lower organ like sponges may not have many sensory organs developed. Okay, so that is something different. What we are talking about, we are considering about the larger category of the organism. Most of the animals have some sort of sensory organ, maybe one, maybe two, maybe three, or maybe all five, or they may have a ability to detect 6, 7, 8 type of things. Okay, so that is a general thing which we have to talk about. So multicellular organisms which are heterotrophic, which lack chloroplast, which have cell wall, are all included in animal kingdom. Now animal kingdom is very large kingdom. Now since we cannot see what the bacteria are, what bacteria look like, and we are not able to identify all the bacteria. Okay, so we are not very much certain that how many species of the bacteria are there, or Monera kingdom includes. But if you eliminate them, then the largest kingdom is animal kingdom. Okay, animal kingdom includes the largest number of organisms. Okay, and we are right from our childhood, we have seen so many different type of animals. So may it be small animals like small insects, or some creepers, or some reptiles, or even mammals which very commonly see around us, that is the cows are there, donkeys are there, elephants are there, even the dogs are there in a house, rabbits are there, and so many people have cats and other organisms. So these are the animals. Okay, now how will we classify such a big category of animals which are so small to so large? Blue whale, which is very large, to the smallest organism which may be small insects or maybe other organisms which are very small in size. Okay, you might have seen sometime when you may be studying on your study table and suddenly an insect comes and sits on your book, and you suddenly start looking at it and you see that that particular object is moving, and then you bring a hand lens and you just see, then you come across that it has got 3 pair legs, and so that it should be insect and all. So how small they are to how large that elephant and blue whales are. There are organisms which do not have even one appendages, no legs, no hands, no other moving objects, whereas there are which there are many appendages like in centipede and millipedes. There are organisms which can fly, where there are organisms which can creep. There are some organisms which lives in water, there are some which lives on land, which can even fly, and there are some category of organisms which lives in land and on land and in water. Okay? There are some which lays egg, some have completely developed baby given birth, and then the further development take place either in their pouch or in the larval stages and there are organisms which are giving fully developed baby as a birth. So there are so much of variation is there. Now how will we study them all together? That was a very big challenge, and that could be made possible only if we study the basis of classification, that is what are the categories which should be considered for the classification. So now we are going to highlight on the topic, that is the basis of classification. Basis of classification 4.1. What are the bases on the basis of which we can classify? The first, the level of organization. Levels of organization. What do it mean? What their body is made up of. Whether it is made up of organ system, or they are having only organs but systems are not yet formed, or they are having only tissues but the organs are not yet formed, or they are having only cells, tissues are even not formed. So 4 categories of organisms are there, levels of organization on the basis of level of organization. That is the cellular grade, where the body is made up of only cells, not even tissues formed. And unless tissue form, organ cannot form, and unless organ form, this organ system cannot form. So their body is made up of only cells, no tissues, no organs, no system. There are some organisms which are little higher than the cellular grade, that is they are having tissues, tissue grade, but the organs and systems are not yet formed. Third is organ grade, that is they are having organs but they do not have organ system. And the fourth is organ system. Like we people are. We got number of organ systems, the sensory organ system, the digestive organ system, the respiratory organ system, the skeletal which help us to move and give shape to the body, reproductive, and there are many other organ system. We got excretory system and all that. Okay. So depending on the level of organization, we categorize the organisms into 4 categories. There are organisms which are made up of only cells, just like sponges. No tissues are even formed. There are organisms in which the tissues are formed, like Hydra, where ectoderm and endoderm, 2 different tissues are formed, but the organs are not yet formed. Okay? There are organisms in which the organs are formed, like in nematodes. Okay? And there are organisms in which the organ systems are formed, like Annelida and above, whatever they are. Okay, so about that we'll study. Okay, the next level, next is that is the symmetry. Second one is symmetry. Unlike plants and unlike many other organisms, animals generally show symmetry. ठीक है? Symmetry is a tendency, a property in which the organism's body can be divided into two equal halves. ठीक है? A property or a tendency by which we can divide the body into two equal halves. Our body, we can, I put a stretch from here, if I cut the body using a Ara machine, then it can cut my body into two equal halves, left side and the right side. Left side will have one eye, the right side will have one eye. Left side will have half of a nose, the right will also have half of a nose. Left side will have 16 teeth, so this side will also will have 16 teeth. And the same, this side will have one hand and one leg, this side will also have one hand and one leg. The cockroach is, crab is shown here in the figure. You can see the body of crab can be divided into two equal halves, and each side you will have four appendages. And exactly same structure which are there in the left hand side, that same type of structures are found in the right hand side. Such a body, where the body can be divided into two equal halves, are known as bilaterally symmetrical. Bi means two, laterals means side. Bilaterally symmetrical. There are organisms which can be divided into two equal halves from more than one plane. Okay? The diagram which is given above, that is a hydra. You can divide a hydra. If you look at a hydra from the top, you can have these type of tentacles present in them, and here the mouth. So you can divide from here also, 3 tentacles this side, 3 this side. If you divide from here, again 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you divide from here, you will have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can divide even a tentacle in between. So you will have half here, 1 and 2. You will have half here and half 1 and 2. So the body can be divisible into two equal halves from more than one plane, more than one line. A starfish is there. If you divide it from here, the left side and the right side. If you divide it from here, the left and the right. If you divide from here, left and the right. So when the body is divisible into more than one plane, divisible into two equal halves from more than one plane, it is called radially symmetrical. That is, each line which is passing through its radii, divided into two equal halves, they are called as radially symmetrical. Okay, and there are still some organisms which body cannot be divisible into two equal halves, radially symmetrical, and there are some like sponges and all which cannot be divisible into two equal halves. They are called asymmetrical. The body is not divisible into two equal halves from anywhere, any place. Now you must remember that when we are talking about the bilaterally symmetrical, it is only one line. If you start dividing from here, the front and the back will be different. If you divide like this obliquely, you will have this different part, and this is, or if you divide from here transversely, the upper part will be something different from the lower part. The same is true with the hydra. The hydra you have to divide only from the top. The starfish also you have to divide from the top. If you divide from the other place, then and we are talking only the external similarities. Internally, body will be different. You cannot say that internally also you will have one heart here or half heart this side, half heart this side, half liver this side, half liver this side, half of the intestine this side, half of the intestine this side. It is not possible. The stomach may be lying in one side, the liver may be more part of the liver in one side and all. Though there are more or less we will get the similarity, but not exactly. The kidneys will get one this side, one that side. Heart also is centrally located, but it is slightly tilted that side. So one side, the left side will get a larger portion of a heart than the right side. Okay? So the symmetry is found only in the externally, not internally. Okay. ऑर्गन सिस्टम को यहाँ से ज़्यादा डिस्क्राइब करते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, हम अभी नहीं करेंगे. जो तीसरी चीज हम यहाँ पे पढ़ रहे हैं वो है दैट इज द जर्मिनल लेयर. The word germ means to generate something. Germinal means a layer which germinate or which form something, which develop something, which make something. That is called germinal layer. All our organ systems are formed from three tissues. If I talk about us, human being, they are ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. There are organisms in which only two tissues are there, ectoderm and endoderm. Mesoderm is absent. Those organisms in which ectoderm and endoderms are only found, they are called diploblastic. Those organisms in which the three germinal layers are found, that is ectoderm and endoderm as well as mesoderm, then they are called triploblastic. Ectoderm, which makes the nervous system, the sensory system and the external covering of the body, lips and up to the certain parts of the mouth and the anal certain opening, okay? And the nail and the hair and all other parts, they all are formed by ectoderm. Endoderm form the entire digestive system. And the mesoderm are forming the organs which are found in between, that is in the visceral layer. So that ectoderm, then second is endoderm, and third is mesoderm. Now mesoderm is found in between, but I have written it outside because if these two layers are there, they are called diploblastic. Diploblastic. But if all three layers are there, they are called triploblastic. The word blast stands for cells. Okay, now you should not always confuse the blast means the blasting, the bomb blast and all which happened somewhere in Vienna in the 2 days back. ऐसा नहीं, blast is not always something to explode. Blast is another meaning of the blast is cells. So the two layers of cell, diploblastic, three layers of cell, triploblastic, two layers are ectoderm and endoderm, three layers are ectoderm, endoderm along with mesoderm. ठीक है, तो ectoderm forms different type of organs, endoderm form different type of organs and mesoderm form different type of organs. Now visceral organs are not found in all the organisms. Those organs in which the visceral organs are found, they are triploblastic. Those organs which do not have visceral organs, okay, they will be called diploblastic. And those, there are certain organs in which none of these layers are found, like sponges, कोई layer नहीं है, non-germinal layer. ठीक है, each cell is an independent cell which is just arranged there and it is just forming a structure, cellular grid. So they may not have even any of these layers. So germinal layers जो है, that is important criteria to classify the organism. Next to the germinal layer we'll study coelom. Coelom is a cavity found between two continuous mesodermal layers. Let's see the diagram. Happy birthday, ma'am, belated one. Okay, children. So their diagrams are given, that is the diploblastic and triploblastic. Here you can see that is the outer purple color layer. You can see that my mouse moving around. So this outer purple color layer is there, that is called ectoderm, and the inner grayish color layer is there, that is called endoderm, and in between this pink color, now there is no cells here. It is only a gluing layer, a glue, a sort of cementing substance which is holding the ectoderm and endoderm together. That is called mesoglia. Meso matlab in between. Word meso whenever we will study, that is in between. ठीक है? Mesoderm, mesophytic organisms, wherever we will study, meso means in between. So mesoglia, a glia, that is a gluing layer which is holding the ectoderm and endoderm together. There are no cell found there. Such a layer is known as mesoglia. So here only two layers are there, ectoderm and endoderm. So they were diploblastic. ठीक है? And since they are having no true cavity between two mesodermal layers, we want to have a cavity between two continuous layer of the mesoderm. So यहाँ तो है mesoderm ही नहीं है, continuous layer तो छोड़िए और cavity तो छोड़िए. There is no mesoderm as such in the diploblastic organism. So such an organisms are called acoelomate. Acoelomate, that is all those in which either tissues are not formed or they are having only two tissues. ठीक है? That is the cellular level organisms and the diploblastic organisms. They will be included in this thing, diploblastic. Now triploblastic आ गया. Now triploblastic, that is the third layer, mesoderm जो है, that can again be of two different form or rather three different form. ठीक है? यहाँ पे देखिए ट्रिप्लोब्लास्ट तो आ रहा है. अब यहाँ वाला ये वाला डायग्राम देखते हैं. ठीक है? Now यहाँ देखते हैं. The mesoderm is there, but mesoderm is not forming any cavity, as you will find in क्या कहते हैं platyhelminthes. And here you will find that the mesoderm has formed, and mesoderm is forming patches. And interestingly, a cavity is there inside the mesoderm. But our condition क्या है? सीलोम कहलाने के लिए हमारी कंडीशन क्या है कि टू मेसोडर्मल लेयर के बीच में होनी चाहिए कैविटी. वेर इज टू मेसोडर्मल लेयर? डू यू सी दिस? डू यू फाइंड एनी टू मेसोडर्मल लेयर इन दिस डायग्राम? आई ड्रॉ द डायग्राम हियर. दिस इज ectoderm, say for example. This is endoderm, and the mesoderm is found in the form of patches. A cavity is there, but such cavity is a false cavity, because this is not fulfilling our need, our criteria of defining it, that it should be running between the two mesodermal layers. Where two mesodermal layers? This mesoderm, this mesoderm, this mesoderm, this mesoderm is one layer only. So such a cavity is known as pseudocoelomate. So condition 2 is pseudocoelomate. Only one category of organism contain this criteria. They are Aschelminthes, that is nematodes. Only one category. ठीक है? And the third category in which we all are included, ectoderm, endoderm. Outside the endoderm there is a layer of mesoderm. Inside the endoderm there is a layer of mesoderm. So this one and this one are two mesoderms. This one is ectoderm, and this one is not this one exactly. This one. is endoderm. एंड ये जो पूरी कैविटी है which is made in grey color. This is a cavity, एक गड्ढा है और ये गड्ढा क्या है? That is ये तो मेजोडर्म एंड इस गड्ढे को हम कहेंगे सीलोम. This cavity is known as coelom. So you can find this diagram A, which is having two pink layers, that is outside the ectoderm and inside the ectoderm, and outside the endoderm are two mesodermal layers, and between that there is a cavity running, which is mentioned here by name coelom. And the ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm are shown by the three different colors, where the ectoderm is shown by the purple color, endoderm is shown by the grey color, and the pinkish color or peachish color is the mesoderm. Okay, so these type of organisms are called coelomate. Okay, so three categories are there. A coelomate कौन से होंगे? Example स्पॉन्जेस. सूडोसिलोमेट कौन से होंगे? एग्जाम्पल प्लेटिहेल्मिन्थीज एंड सॉरी नॉट प्लेटिहेल्मिन्थीज, एस्केल्मिन्थीज और निमेटोडा. ASCEL एस्केल्मिन्थीज, एल्मिन्थीज को हटा दीजिए. एस्केल्मिन्थीज. और सीलोमेट कौन से हैं? दैट इज एनेलिडा से लेके टू मैमेलिया तक. The larger category of organisms are there which are having three germinal layers, that is ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So you are requested children to study till here. Okay, this is page number 17, पेज नंबर 17 और इस चैप्टर का तीसरे चैप्टर का आधा पढ़ रहा है. If you learn, the studies, further studies will become easy. Otherwise you will be simply thinking, अरे यार ये क्या बताया था सर ने? What sir told about a platyhelminthes? What he said about pseudocoelomate? I don't remember anything. You should not get stuck. Now you are big enough, you are not in class 9th, and I said bio is no more as science of muggification. आपको रटना नहीं है, आपको समझना है. And once you will understand it, it will become easy for you. आगे आपके लिए बड़ा आसान हो जाएगा. So if you learn these four properties which we studied today, level of organization we have studied about the symmetry, we have studied the germinal layer, and we have studied about coelom. तो 4 properties हमने पढ़ ली है of categories of classification. A few more we will discuss tomorrow, and then we will start about the classification of animal kingdom and further. ठीक है? That's all for today children. Thank you.